everyone. This is going to be the last big expansion for the outside world. This is by far the biggest expansion. I've added couple of new subway lines, relocated some of those lines. So first I'm going to start off, I've added the red, blue, brown, green, orange, and silver lines in Boston. So the silver line goes between Lyman and Boston Memorial Park through outside of downtown, actually. Runs with the blue line for a lot of its duration. It can run on the blue line if the silver line has like a mechanical problem or something. The orange line, which is Belmont to Forest Hills. The orange line actually goes to Forest Hills in real life, now that I think about it. It goes between Oak Grove and goes right through downtown. The orange line actually runs express between Belmont and Porter. It skips, this is Blanchard Road and Danny Park. I don't know how to say that, but anyways, next, now that I think about it, is the brown line. The brown line runs local making at those stops. Runs through, it's the line that goes to Harvard, actually. And MIT as well. It goes, kind of avoids downtown a little bit. And the Boston bus routes are going to be the same in the outside world as they are in real life. I'm not going to make a map about it. I've decided, and then it goes to Castle Island. So now, next, speaking of, is the green line. So it begins at L Street Beach, goes right through downtown via North Station. Actually, before I continue, the orange line actually goes where the green line goes, and the orange and the green line goes where the orange and blue lines go, now that I think about it. Sullivan Square is a stop on the orange line in real life. And there's no brown line in the MBTA. But it goes all the way up. It goes all the way up to Swampscott. I think I'm going to have like a Super Express that possibly, but no, this is the outside world. I'll finish with it, but forget about it. So, the next is the red line. The red line runs between Braintree Square. Actually, this would be Braintree and the red line in the outside world is a lot like what it is in real life. I'm going to be honest. This is D Street. And then it goes to UMass like it does in real life. Goes to South Station. Yeah, it is the red line that goes to South Station. And then goes to the airport. It goes to the airport terminal A and B. And then, last but not least, the blue line. You have it. Oh wow, it went all the way out there. I don't know why it does that. I'm gonna probably doing a lot of scrolling back. You have Wolf. Oh, I kind of knew it would glitch. So you have Waltham, and then they join at Partridge Street. That's actually Grove Hill Cemetery, and there's another stop on the orange line named Grove Hill. So that's why I just named it for a nearby street. You have it going through, actually a little bit through Brookline, almost. Another thing I didn't mention is that the silver line goes to the, through Fenway, Riverway, the Museum of Fine Arts, and Roxbury Park. And actually, you have, through Andrew Square, you have like a big view of what the Northeast Corridor would be like. I am going to begin so there's a diagram of Amtrak on here, but it's not going to be what the track is going to be in real life. I am likely going to be doing Amtrak first, mainly because the equipment is pretty easy to purchase. Anyways, that leads me on to the MBTA commuter rail. MBTA goes between, so MBTA, one of their lines in real life goes to Worcester. So it goes there. I decided to extend mine because I felt like it went like too far. I feel like Worcester wasn't far enough, so I decided to extend it to Springfield. Now that I think about it, it actually almost goes into Connecticut because you see like the border like right below, just a couple miles away. All right. Now, this leads me to the Amtrak, which will take us back into New York. And I'll show you what I did down there. I've made some pretty big changes. So, first of all, I made the Amtrak Express branch, which goes between Boston, which goes to Boston. There's a express branch and a local branch, and they both go in different areas. So this actually is a lot like the Northeast Corridor in real life, the Amtrak Express branch between Norwalk and Boston. So Norwalk, Connecticut. For those who are wondering, this is Norwalk right here. And then this is the local branch. These are the stops it makes. It stops at Wilton, Branchville, Danbury Airport, Danbury, and with the creation of a new stop, I wanted the Amtrak and Amtrak Express to have each an equal amount of stops. They both have 44, so I extended the Amtrak branch. It ends at New Fairfield now. So now Amtrak makes its local stops on its own at Darien, Harrison, Mamaroneck, Larchmont. Eventually Amtrak was extended into the Bronx from the previous expansion. Amtrak makes so this is where Amtrak's original terminal, it makes all of its original stops and then was extended slightly into the Bronx with the Long Island Railroad. Its terminal was the same as before also. As well as, I've decided to make the Long Island Road actually go into Long Island. Its terminal is Republic Airport. It takes the present day Port Washington branch to Plandome, branches off onto the Huntington branch between what is now between like the area that is Carl Place and Hicksville, then turns onto the branch that serves the Montauk trains to Bethpage, and then turns onto the Ronkonkoma branch to Farmingdale and the Republic Airport. Alright, and it's also been extended from Astoria. It was cut back from its terminal. It no longer stops at 59th Street, rather, 50th Street in Grand Central. So now it curves on 66, stops in Roosevelt Island, and makes stops in like Queens now. And now the next one I want to talk about is the NJ Transit. So I've created the NJ Transit terminal at Dunellen. This is like present day Raritan Valley branch to Cranford, and then stops in the Newark Airport. Goes to Elizabeth. I believe there was like a freight line going there or something one time. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. And I've also created the ferry lines to and then NJ Transit makes a lot of its original stops. And now I'm going to bring up the Metro North. The Metro North runs between Farragut Road, which was its original terminus. It went to 136th Street on the C and L trains, got cut back to its LaGuardia Terminal A, and now goes on to Rikers Island through the Bronx, and then takes the present day Harlem line between Woodlawn Station and White Plains Station. Splits off, makes its own stops. There's a Sober Lake in Staten Island too, so I'm gonna have to label it with each of their lines for all the stations. So next one I want to talk about is the customized steam railroad. Now, the steam railroad operates between Newark, Penn, so like Jersey City, Hoboken. After Hoboken, it would stop at like the Hoboken terminal, but then it would operate like into Manhattan. Along the Hudson River, it would go on 11th Avenue, turn onto 23rd rather, and then it would go on the Hudson River for the entirety of its trip to Marist College, I believe that's how you say it. And actually, I'm going to point out a change. So, it goes straight on the Hudson and curves after Verplank. Instead of going, it branches, so Cortlandt Station on the Metro North Hudson line in real life, it branches away from the Hudson for a bit, but then it comes back. And I'm trying to think of like the extensions I did with like the other lines. I'm thinking about using Big Boy or Norfolk and Western equipment for this. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've done. The New York City wasn't, I think Boston was more affected, like much more affected. New York City really wasn't affected by the subway, like, changes and stuff. And now, here's a little glimpse of Staten Island now. Anyways, that's all I wanted to show you, and I also have a form for you to fill out that'll be in the next video.